Very good afternoon to everybody present here. I hope I am audible, loud and clear.
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah, so a grand welcome once again on this forum. On behalf of AICT, Lieutenant Commander Akhil Sharma, Assistant Director, All India Council of Technical Education, India, would like to welcome all present here for this webinar. So today we have three sector skill councils who are present here. First one is Furniture and Fittings SSC. The second one is Infrastructure Equipment Sector Skill Council. The third one is Gems and Jewelry Sector Skill Council. So I would also like to welcome all the attendees, all the participants from the AICT approved institutes here and also at the YouTube channel because we are live at the YouTube also. So, like always, these sector skill councils in a short while will be giving a brief presentation about their sectors, the opportunities in their sector, the past record in terms of trainees trained and placements achieved, uh, a little bit about the futuristic job roles that are available in the respective sectors I talked about, and how these sector skill councils will help the institutions in training, assessment, placement, and also establishment of center of excellence. And in the at the end of their presentation, these sector skill councils will also be sharing with all of us their contact details. So if any queries, any doubts are there pertaining to these sector skill council, that can be answered later on by them. So with these webinars like are conducted, we all are aware, keeping in mind the Karma scheme that was launched by AICTE. That is the Kaushal Augmentation and Restructuring mission of AICTE. So before we start the first presentation, I'll just take 2 minutes to give you a brief about the scheme. As you can see on the screen, the Kaushal Augmentation and Restructuring mission of AICTE, what we call Karma, under Skill Hub initiatives, was launched on 15 December 2021. The objective of this scheme is skill enhancement of the community of surrounding area through existing infrastructure of the institutions through three models. In the next slide, I'll brief you about the models. The features, as you can see on the screen, the expected training providers are almost 3,500 polytechnic and almost 3,000 engineering colleges. And the infrastructure will be already existing infrastructure of technical institutions and during off work of us. The sectors will be domain specific NSQF aligned short duration courses, and this program will be on self-financing mode. And the assessment will be carried out by National Council of Vocational and Education Training approved assessment agencies. And the certification and awards, the certificate of this course will bear the logo of Skill India. And the potential is to train around 6.5 lakh students per year. Next slide, please. The three models, what I was referring to, in model 1, the beneficiary eligibility, like the school dropouts after class 10 pass, long back and recent ones. In model 2, students who are already studying in AICTE approved technical institutions. In model 3, which is kind of a hub and spoke model, where the institutes will mobilize students of nearby schools to enhance their technical skills. Next slide, please. As I said, the scheme was launched on 15 December 2021, and as on date, as you can see, almost 1,541 institutions have already been registered on the Karma portal. You can see the breakdown of different models. Can we move on to next slide, Mr.? And these are the sectors covered under the scheme. Almost 65 sectors under different models, as you can see. So with this, I would request the first Sector Skill Council, and that is the Furniture and Fitting Sector Skill Council, to start the presentation and share the information with us, please.
Thank you, Akhilji. I hope my voice is audible and screen is visible.
You are audible, Rahulji, but the screen is not visible as of now. Now it is visible. It is being shared.
Okay, great. So warm welcome on this important initiative which is happening, and there are many thanks to AICTE actually for initiating something like this, which is giving everybody an opportunity to come together, collaborate, use the existing expertise, and empower our youth. So how can we do something for this sector and this initiative for our sector, primarily for interiors, furniture, and light segment, is what I'm going to cover here today. First of all, I would like to share here that our name, sometimes doesn't give a clear indication that we are also having interior as one of the sectors. So, however, the name Furniture and Fitting Skill Council and our overall coverage includes interiors, furniture, and key enabling sectors as well. For example, wood, timber, panel, laminates, bamboo, plastic, architectural hardware, so on and so forth. So all the types of occupations that are covered in the value chain of interiors, furniture, and other allied sector, from designing to installation, to repairs, or to process of various raw materials which are there, all of that is included. It generates, more than 100 plus different types of job roles. If you details of breaking down as per the NSQF, it will run into more than 400, 500 job roles as well. Now, the most popular job roles and the futuristic job roles which are there, which we need to see and focus on from the perspective of the youth as well, because they need to have an aspirational value for these job roles. These job roles need to fetch a good career opportunity. Only then the parents would also be convinced about these options. So these 10 job roles are interior designer, interior design draftsperson, furniture designer, joiner, cabinet maker, machine operator roles, surface finisher, upholsterer, carpenter, and installer. And there are many more, but since we had to pick the top 10, so I put put the top 10 options which are available here. The ones which have put, the small green shield with WSC, that is basically that these job roles are also recognized at the world level, and there are skill competitions happening for these job roles. So if any AICT institute is also taking up these job roles, they have an opportunity of utilizing these job roles and training candidates on these job roles who can actually bring medallions and accolades for the country at the world level. Also, with the competitions, there is a healthy spirit of learning and knowledge sharing, and that helps the overall development, not just of the individual but also of the sector. For example, if you will see 20 years back, there were singing competitions and dance competitions which came into picture, and now today when we see, the whole industry has developed, and there is more and better requirement of all those people who are whether coming from artists, or artists, etc., etc. In terms of opportunities, we have a dedicated portal which we call the FFSC Taj portal, wherein we collect the apprenticeship and the job opportunities in design, build, and install programs. So the programs that I told you about in the previous slide were all about design, build, and install programs. We have more than 100 plus industry partners and associations associated with us. So from there, the demand gets aggregated. So you are never worried about the part of placement, because once you're trained, you'll always have an apprenticeship or job placement opportunity available. Since the inception of the council, more than 2 lakh people have been benefited either by a short-term training program or an upskilling program or workshops or so on and so forth. The journey can be captured on our YouTube channel as well. For the paucity of the time, I'm focusing on the key aspects only here. But definitely you can go on to our YouTube channel. There are informatives available on each aspect, even job roles which are there. Then what is the support that we are providing to AICTE or the institutions who want to set up under the Karma Institute? We'll provide end-to-end training, center setup support, training of the trainers, training facilitation, wherein our master trainers or our experts would come down to conduct the first or the second batch which is required, show them how it needs to be done experientially as well, apart from the training of trainers. Then certification, yes, that's there. Then so as part of the overall training programs that we do, we also have an element of skill competition ties with it, because we, like I said, we believe that competitions can be a really an important way of imbibing any kind of skill set or promoting any kind of skill set. So these candidates can actually get trained for the World Skills Competition on India Skill Cycle as well. Then we provide the Taj support to every candidate or every learner. We have a dedicated portal wherein there is a job seeker interface, there is an employer interface. So you can make your own resume, you can put your pictures of the work that you've done, you can put your videos also on that. On a click of a button, you get a fantastic resume generated from there, and you can use that to apply to various jobs also online itself. Also, support to the AICTE institutions. This is to give an example. We also combine the various programs that we have, and we create a parallel with the 3-year, 4-year program, how they can imbibe these various levels into those programs using the extra capacity or extra hours that they have in the overall course curriculum, and they can actually earn learn a skill and be ready to earn and join the industry as well. So here, as you can see, if you'll see where I am just hovering the mouse, we have merged, we have kept assistant draftsperson and general assistant furniture fitting installation as part of the first year program, wherein the candidate can pick and choose from these programs, give exam for this program, assessment for this program, and then the next year they can go in for a specialization in the selected trade. They can either become a draftsperson interior designer, or they can go on to become assistant carpenter. This is one example. There are more such examples available with the kind of trades that we have. And this can be carried forward till 4th year, utilizing very judiciously, utilizing the time available and the resources which are there. I would also like to mention here that all the engineering colleges have the woodworking lab and carpentry as a subject in their, in the first year itself. So even that needs to be revamped, because most of the time that we have seen, and we had discussions with IIT Bombay, a lot of universities where the engineering programs are running, that if those programs are revamped, it will actually add value, a lot of value to the students, and they can open doors for employment opportunities, career opportunities, entrepreneurship opportunities in interiors, furniture, and allied industry as well. So all our initiatives are also available to the Karma, for the Karma scheme as well. Our Taj initiative, our Skill Pavilion initiative, Meri Skill, Meri Pehchan initiative, World Skills Competition related initiatives are available to them. We work on a hub and spoke kind of a model for skill academies. So these, the Karma institutes can act as a hub or spoke depending on where they are situated, and also get benefited from the center of excellence or the specialized centers that we have in the nearby vicinity. So these are also the things that are available and which can be taken as a benefit. As mentioned by Akhilji, these are our contact details. So you can pick it for your benefit. I'll also put it in the Dropbox. Depending on what kind of engagement you're looking at, you can connect with one or more of the people who are there. For setting up your center things, please feel free to connect with anybody from our team. You can take a screenshot. I'll also put it on the chat box. So that's all from our end. If there are any queries as per the format of the webinar today, please feel free to ask or share it in the chat box. Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you very much, Mr. Rahul Mehta. It was an insightful presentation of the Sector Skill Council. If the queries, any queries related to the Sector Skill Council, which are present here today, we can, after the webinar is over, all the 3 presentations are over, we can take the queries pertaining to the Sector Skill Council. For the queries related to Karma scheme, you can email. I have shared the email address in the chat box. You can email us and we'll be getting back to you. So now the second Sector Skill Council, that is the Infrastructure Equipment Sector Skill Council, will be delivering their presentation.
Good afternoon to all. Good afternoon, Akhilji, for inviting me to this call and a brief presentation on our Sector Skill Council. And we are based out of Bangalore.
So I'm sorry to interrupt, but your voice is cracking. You're not audible properly.
I see. Am I better now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it is much better.
Okay.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. So I will run through this presentation a little fast because most of it is pictorial, and just to give you a representation of what our sector skill council represents. So just a snapshot of our industry, we are about $6.5 billion, and we are engaged in the business of building infrastructure for the country, whether it's a road or a bridge or a port or an airport. Our equipment are present in all these in these construction activities. Size of the industry is about 100,000 units a year of various types of equipment, and more than 50 plus manufacturers are in this ecosystem, many of whom are our members. So you can see here that these are some of the leading players of the industry, arranged in some kind of an alphabetical order, not in terms of size, to give you an idea of the scale and the scope of our industry. So when you talk about infrastructure equipment, we're not talking about one type of equipment, but we're talking about 4 or 5 buckets, different types, groupings of equipment. Like you have earth moving, material handling, road construction, material processing, and concrete. So when you're talking about futuristic job roles, all of these equipment have been advancing at a very rapid pace. Lots of technology being built in. So many of these equipment categories give you a wide variety of opportunities in terms of futuristic job roles. Visual representation of some of these machines. Again, you can see the scale and the diversity of these machines. And even for a particular product, like we're talking about excavator, which is earth moving equipment, you have a range starting from 2 tons to 190-ton excavator, 2-ton used for utility work, and the large ones are used in mining operations. You can see the scale of the machine vis-a-vis the people standing in front of it. So great opportunities here in terms of advancement of careers. And as I mentioned, all these are going into the building of the national infrastructure pipeline, and therefore critical to the growth of the economy of the country and India's growth story. So these are the key demand drivers. So when you're looking at employment opportunities, this is where your opportunities lie in construction companies that build roads, mining companies with both informal, corporatized, etc., urban infrastructure, industrial infrastructure, and a clear vision. This industry is slated to grow 3 times in the next 7 or 8 years to go. Vision 2030. And one of the key recommendations made in this industry plan is the last one, 8, which talks about a talent pool for the industry, including the operators, the mechanics, and strong linkages with academia, which is what we are here for. So I will skip some of these slides and talk about the membership here. You can see that we've got 44 members, all of whom are in the business of construction equipment manufacture or component manufacture, and some of the financiers also there in this. We have got about 40 job roles in our industry, and more than 50,000 candidates have been certified so far. Of course, we were doing very well till the year before the pandemic, and after that, because we could not congregate at these training centers where we need to physically engage with these machines, there was a little bit of a decline, but the momentum was really there before all this happened, and we are back on the track. We are back to building more such training programs. Just a glimpse of the kind of training centers that the OEMs have. What we have at the OEM center, private training centers, we work with vocational training institutes as well, where we set up these labs with the help of our OEM members as well. You need cut sections, you need models, you need hydraulic, diagrams, etc., where you can electrical diagrams, where you can actually do physical troubleshooting. We also, in many centers, have simulators which save a lot of cost in terms of fuel burn, because when you're running these machines, there is fuel consumption, and fuel prices being what they are, there is a lot of cost involved. But we have substitutes like these which can compensate for some hours of training. And of course, there are global opportunities as well. This is a program that we did in Abu Dhabi for one of our products. This is what a typical training center requires: open space where our machines can be used for digging, unloading, loading. We need these classrooms, lab equipment, which will be provided so that students can be hands-on in troubleshooting. And of course, lately we see a lot of women included in the workforce as well, even in mining areas. And these are some of the campaigns that we did through our member companies in the recent past. And we will be able to provide the opportunities in this sector by connections. We interface with the government, and then we provide job roles and assessment, etc. And what kind of job roles do we have? We have these NSQF level 3 job roles, which is a junior operator and junior mechanic for various types of equipment. And similarly, we have level 4 as well. Level 3 would be about 270 to 300 hours of training or skilling, and level 4 would be around 400 hours of training. And then we have 2 in the supervisory levels as well. So the employment opportunities that we provide are obviously the user industry, which could be any of the construction companies that we talked about, the mining companies, ports, airports, all of them require these skill sets. Also, our many customers abroad also provide opportunities for us for people trained by us, especially in the Middle East and so on, where a lot of construction is happening, and the operators and the technicians that are using these machines that are servicing these machines are trained by us. So we have a user industry, then we have the manufacturers, we have the vendors, we have a huge supply chain base, all the manufacturers, and of course our dealer fraternity. Each one of our OEMs has 20 to 30 dealerships. Each dealership has so many outlets covering almost every major city or town across the country. All these dealerships have sales, service, workshops, mobile workshops, etc. So these skill sets are very much required in these areas. And my last slide is, of course, you can contact us at this email ID, which is my email ID, and I'll be very happy to provide you any further details that you want. And since the meeting format is questions are to be put into the Dropbox, I'm afraid discussions will not be happening now, but I'm very happy to entertain your questions through Akilji's office or directly to me. So that's my presentation, Akilji.
Thank you so much, Vijay. It was an informative presentation. Thank you for that. Now I would request Gems and Jewelry Sector Skill Council to start the presentation, please.
Thank you, Mr. Sharma. I'll just share my screen. I hope this is visible now. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
So good afternoon once again. So we are from Gem and Jewelry Sector Skill Council. We were incorporated in 2012 under NSDC and MSDE, as everybody knows. These are some of the numbers. We are present in most of the states. Actually, our sector is very, very cluster based. So we have different clusters where you would have jewelry manufacturing happening. Of course, retail happens across. And these are some of the numbers. As you know, earlier the numbers were more managed by, or the training was more done by the common training partners, which were not actually industry focused, and that's why you would see the placement number are not very handsome. But of late, we have started tying up with the industry, and for example, we are coming up with a training center here in Mumbai in export processing zone. It is starting on 3rd of May, and it would train about 300 candidates every year with 100% placement guarantee. So there is a lot of scope. Only thing is AICTE sort of affiliated institutions, whether they are polytechnics or engineering colleges or ITIs, they would have to see which are the job roles they can take up. Now, these are some of the job roles which are basically very well in demand, very much in demand, and the students would like to probably explore this jewelry designer. Now, this is a job role which has a lot of opportunities and a lot of sort of progression possible. A good jewelry designer can really expect to earn very handsome money. There are both type of opportunities available: paid jobs as well as there are freelance jewelry designers who are very much sought after. Then senior jewelry designer. We have CAD operators, which is jewelry designer on CAD, and senior jewelry designer CAD. So there are different softwares which they get exposed to. We have another job role called assayer and hallmarker. With gold hallmarking becoming compulsory, there is going to be a huge demand of assayers and hallmarkers in coming years in India. And so we have tied up with Bureau of Indian Standards, and along with them we have developed a qualification. And this is another very upcoming area for futuristic job role. Jewelry retail sales associate, which is for the sales. And then there are certain job roles which are in process, work in progress, but they would also be of lot of interest to the students in various institutes. One is jewelry visual merchandiser, social media management for jewelry retail, because there is a lot of social media being used for jewelry retail these days. Jewelry e-commerce, a lot of jewelry is being sold now online. So if you see, even people like Tanish has bought a stake in Carrot Lane, which is probably one of the largest e-commerce company in jewelry, and there are huge opportunities there. How can we help? How can we lend a hand to AICTE institutions? We can, of course, will assist in selected institutes to procure the right course material for training, because that is very important, including the tools and equipment. If you choose to take any manufacturing related job roles, we'll facilitate timely assessment by engaging an affiliated third party assessment agency, which is obviously NCVT approved. DJCI can help the institutes by introducing them to the local establishments. As I said, ours is a very cluster-based industry. So the institutes which are based in these clusters, we can help them formulate, if they want a board of studies which could incorporate the local industry people, who could actually tell them exactly what do they need and what does the industry need in those clusters. And we can help them in identify a local leading industry partner, as I said, which could actually help them not only design the course curriculum or choose the course curriculum, but would also tell them also link them with the other industry in that cluster, so that the placement is taken care of. One second, I'll hide this. And of course, all due diligence and monitoring we can take care. We can do training of trainers for all the job roles which an institute choose to take. So I have limited this to this because based on the interest which we receive, we can actually tailor make the programs for each institute separately, depending on what do they want to pursue. There could be even manufacturing job role which could be very much in line with what certain polytechnics or ITIs must be training. For example, we have a job role called filing and assembly, which basically would go very well in line with what these people already sort of study. Similarly, we have polishing, cleaning. So there are many job roles, but depending on the cluster in which these institutes are based, and depending on their interest, we can actually tailor make the programs for them and share with them. Now, these are the contact details. Is one Spock one for training is Mr. Balkrishna Pillai. His email ID is aa2@gsci.org. There is his telephone number also. And for assessment and operation, Ms. Fatima Sayyed, her email ID and her telephone number also is there. And of course, my email ID is ceo@djsci.org. Thank you.
Can you go to the last slide, please? It was not visible. Yeah. So I request the attendee. Sir, next slide. I request the attendees to take you can take a screenshot of this slide in case any queries are there.
Yeah, and I would request the institutes to get in touch with us directly based on the area where they operate, where they are. For example, if somebody is placed in Kolhapur, so there could be certain job roles which I have not listed here because Kolhapur is a huge silver industry, silver jewelry industry hub, and we have certain job roles specific to made for that. So if they are interested, we could probably offer those job roles or those qualifications, and we can share all the details with them accordingly. So we have overall about 60 qualifications, but I just included a few which I thought could be of common interest to everybody, and that's why I said based on the location, we can actually tailor make the program for the institute. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Rajiv, for your informative presentation.
Thanks.
Now I request the attendees, if you have any queries, any questions pertaining to these Sector Skill Council, their courses, you can please ask because they all are here for your queries. Anything about their placements, mode of training, any queries you have, you can go ahead.
Mr. Sharma, even later, if somebody
Yes,
wants to inquire, so they have our email IDs, and I even shared the telephone numbers, so they can feel free to contact us any point in time, and we will be happy to assist.
Sure. Thank you so much. So I see there are no queries as such, but I again request if any doubt you have pertaining to the Sector Skill Council, you can share with us. Okay, so I will just tell the attendees that regarding the Karma scheme, the technicalities of or anything, any question you have. So I have shared the email ID that is karma@aict-india.org. You can raise a question there, and I ensure you that you will get a reply, if not in one day, the next day. And so with this, I would like to give a vote of thanks to all the three sector skill councils who are present here. Mr. Rahul Mehta from Furniture and Fittings Sector Skill Council, Mr. Vijay Kumar from Infrastructure Equipment Sector Skill Council, and Mr. Rajiv Garg from Gems and Jewelry Sector Skill Council. Thank you so much for your informative and insightful presentation. I hope the institution and ultimately the trainees, the students will be benefited out of it. So with this, I would like to end this webinar. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
So
you.
thank you to all the attendees as well for your time. Thank you.